Recognizing the member for Kelowna Mission.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Well, let me say it very clearly. Violence during peaceful protest is wrong. Any violence and intimidation towards drag artists and performers is wrong and must be condemned in the strongest terms. Full stop. All members of this House can agree on that. In light of horrible incidents towards the drag community, it is clear that there's still so much more to do to ensure everyone in British Columbia is treated with dignity and respect. Violent protests are not acceptable. We all have the right to express our views and debate or protest against those views with which we don't agree. Violence against others is never the answer, ever. These events have been plagued with intimidation and violence throughout BC, and communities such as Nelson, Victoria, and Vancouver either having violence break out or being forced to cancel them out of fear. No community should need to fear violence for simply holding an event in a province as rich and diverse as British Columbia. No British Columbian should fear taking their child to a library because of dangerous protests outside the entrance. No British Columbian should fear violence for holding a view or position in opposition to their neighbour. This is not the British Columbia that we want for our kids. We teach our kids to always be themselves. Don't give in to peer pressure to be someone you aren't. I used to teach my kids when they were younger, when they would be called a name. I would ask them, well, if I called you a banana, would that make you a banana? We teach our kids to be tolerant of those that are different from them, to respect each other and learn from each other. We teach our kids to stand up for what they believe in, to be the voice for those that may not be able to speak for themselves. We live in a country where we are protected by laws and where we can live without fear. But this cannot be said by every member of our communities. Last week, I was privileged to attend the Transgender Day of Visibility flag raising here at the legislature. It serves as an excellent reminder of just some of the many adversities faced by those that are simply trying to be themselves and are not treated with dignity and respect. For the sake of our constituents and the rights of human beings as a whole, we must continue to deliberate and strengthen our laws so that they can be as protective, strong, and inclusive as possible. Unfortunately, we face a public safety crisis in this province, and not enough is being done to fix it. We could be debating motions like this every hour of every day for any number of communities that have faced horrible violence in the last 5 years. Motions are just words unless action is taken, and this government doesn't have a good track record on taking action. They have no trouble with motions, words, social media posts, even attacks on the other side, but not actions. British Columbians facing violence in their streets need more than flowery words on Twitter and clever motions in this place. We must encourage meaningful dialogue amongst those who disagree with one another. We must make sure that those that target a community with violence, like the drag community or the LGBTQ2+ community, face legal consequences. This is our job in this place. That is why our communities elect us to serve them here. For the sake of upholding basic human rights, it is incredibly important that we ensure the government follows through on motions like this one and takes meaningful action and can provide results for British Columbians. Democracy loses when we shout instead of listen, when we use culture wars to silence opposition instead of exercise empathy and love. Love must win. I encourage this House to use this motion as an opportunity to reach out and hear the voices across BC, advocate for those that can't always speak for themselves, and use the power given to them by British Columbians to influence positive and real change in legislation to ensure everyone is free from the fear of facing violence in their community. Violence is wrong. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, member.